It's time for an identity shift. It's time for you to become alive. Over my previous 2 videos, what we covered were you getting a hold of your grand vision, who it is that you wanted to become, who it is that you want to become in your future, not as your career, not as anything material or physical, but who is it internally that you want to become in the future, your being, your core essence that will allow you to achieve your material goals, your relationship goals, and any other goals that you have. The very core, the very root foundation that will allow you to access that future. And then from there, we moved on to eliminating your hindering beliefs. You have your vision in place, but there are things that are still, or there are beliefs that are still holding you back, keeping you away from your intended goal, from your intended purpose. Now, today, we're going to focus on the biggest, the most important, and often most forgotten thing: shifting your identity, shifting that thing inside you that will allow you to reach out and take a hold of the person you want to become, and ultimately becoming alive. Yet through the journey of becoming alive, it requires you to be fearless. It requires you to be bold. It requires you from moving from a space of what I call surviving to thriving. The first 2 things that we covered will make a whole world of difference. Yet what we're going to cover today is that very, very thing, that very, very core fiber of your being that is going to actually allow you to intrinsically feel, intrinsically know that you have your future in your hands. A perspective shift. The baggage we hold comes in many shapes and sizes, but for most, if not all, how that baggage manifests into our lives, into your life, manifests as the need to survive. Surviving is seriously undermined reasoning and a vindictive, irritable, vicious existence. By serious, I mean seriously because of significant, or worrying because of risk. You see, what leads us to be in a state of survival is the constant looking over our shoulder, the constant fear of debts, bills not being paid, the accumulation of debts, the fear of taking the risk of asking that girl out or changing career. But undermining or undermined, I mean to see yourself as less or being less effective, to lessen your power, or to slowly or gradually lose your ability to be who you truly are. By reasoning, I mean a lack of reasoning, meaning that you're unable to think about things in a logical manner. Your actions, your goals, your movements are decided by emotions, by fear, by moving away from poverty, by moving away from risk, by moving away from fear in an illogical way, without strategic planning, without foresight, without hindsight, without 20/20 vision to seeing what it is your future will look like, because you're so worried about having a terrible future. Vindictive, having or showing a strong desire for spite or vengeance, meaning that you feel attacked by the world, you feel bitter about your past experiences, making you want to defend yourself through being sharp back to people, through biting back, wanting to get back at people who've done you wrong. And this isn't a one-off thing. This is a consistent thing, consistent thoughts that consume you, that you emotionally triggered by and want to take action on. Irritable, having or showing a tendency to be easily irritated. You're irritated by the news. You're irritated by your partner. You're irritated by your boss. You're irritated by your colleagues. You're irritated by the sunshine. You're irritated by the sunrise. You're irritated about other people enjoying life. Things get under your skin very, very easily. And then vicious, having bad habits or a predisposition to be cruel or overly fierce. The need to always defend yourself. The need to always be the big bad wolf, because when you weren't the big bad wolf, you have a belief that you were walked all over. So now the shell you wear is one that is tough, powerful, strong, yet not kind, compassionate, and considerate. Always in attack mode, always in defense mode, waiting, pretending, protecting, defending yourself. And then existence, the way you live your life. And now I'm not supposing that you have every single one of those qualities. However, I am suggesting you take a look and see how many of those qualities you do have, how many of those qualities come up in your life, and recognize that you are not cruel, you are not naturally disposed to these things, yet you wear these things as an armor, a shield for protection against all of the things that you have been through. I want to propose, if you have 2 or more of those attributes, that you are surviving through life. And listen, there's nothing wrong with that. You're here, you're alive, you're living your life, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I would like to assert that that isn't how you would like to be living your life. You want more power, more excitement, more exuberance. Yet, how can you become brand new? How can you feel alive once again? I'll tell you that, but I'll explain it to you with another concept, if you like. And that concept is human being versus human doing. It's time for an identity shift. You see, when human doing is, I'll characterize human doing as an equation so that it's easy for you to follow. The equation is what I do plus how well I do it equals who I am. Or similarly, what you do plus how well you do it equals who you are. So let me break it down for you a little bit more so that it actually makes sense, because right now it's just an equation. What you do could be your job. For example, you work in the military. Let's say you work in the military and you're a chef in the military. So that's what you do. Plus how well you do it. Let's say you're a great chef. People enjoy your food. You get compliments and you feel pride and joy over that. And that pride and joy of how well you do at work is who or how you characterize yourself. Because you make great food and people enjoy your food, that makes you a great person. That makes you a reason to enjoy who you are. You see, directly, there doesn't seem to be an issue with that. However, the issue stands in the future, in the long run, or sometimes in the present moment. Because if you don't cook a good meal for your I'm going to say constituents because I can't think of the correct word to say. When you cook a poor meal and people don't enjoy it, that you take a hit. Your heart takes a hit. You feel as if you're not as good of a person because the meal you cooked wasn't good. That is what it could feel like in the moment. However, over a longer period of time, how it could occur is you've worked in the army for 15 to 20 years and then boom, you're honorably discharged, let's say. Or you leave your job because it's time for you to retire. After you retire, maybe not straight away, but a few days, weeks, months later, you feel a hole. You feel as if your purpose isn't being fulfilled. You feel as if you're not worthy as a person, as a human being. And I'd like to assert it's that your identity was placed on your role rather than who you are or who you are as a person. And because your identity was based within the role or character you play within society, you will find it hard to be fulfilled again. And that's what it looks like to be in human doing, to be living life based on your accomplishments, living life based on society's standard to judge and characterize your life, causing you to potentially undermine your abilities, causing you to potentially become frustrated, sharp, spiteful, revengeful, and ultimately allowing you to spiral into depression, into frustration. A little more light-hearted way of thinking about it is, think about the people who brag about being confident. If you brag about being confident, I doubt you really actually are confident, right? It's like you're masking something. And that's what you're doing when you're in survival. That's what you're doing when you're stuck in the world of human doing. You may not realize it, but you haven't connected to who you truly are. It's no small feat to shift your identity. It requires courage. It requires boldness, or as what I call fearlessness, to actually thrive through life, to actually become a person who has become alive. It requires you to create bold new ideas, to recreate yourself, to reimagine your future, to reimagine your life. No longer looking at the world the way the world has told you to look at the world, but looking at the world and asserting your life and who you want to be, who you want to become as a possibility, and then to make that possibility a reality. It's cultivating a mindset of thriving, a mindset of creation, rather than a mindset of survival. And honestly, you could really categorize it as human being rather than human doing. And approaching life that way allows you to thrive. Human being is considering who you are as a person already whole and complete. Already you are what you are. And then focusing how you can be and act within each moment, creating a generated outcome. Human being is who I am plus how I am me equals what I do. So I'll use my name, for example, as I'm not entirely sure what your name is. So who I am is Washington. And let's say I place the intention of being confident when making YouTube videos, when making Instagram videos. And then that equals I am confident when I am making videos. Rather than when I make videos well, so I am confident. Who I am Washington, who I am is Washington, and how I am Washington is confident. And when I make videos, and how do I make videos? I make videos in a confident way. You see, human being is about being conscious and intentionally creating paradigm shifts for yourself, consciously creating magical, miraculous moments in each day, in each moment, because life's vitality pours out through how it is I want to be in each moment, rather than how I want to be in each moment being dictated by external causes, such as other people's moods, behaviors, such as my job, such as my responsibilities, such as anything else that I cannot control. Rather, I understand that I cannot control everything. Rather, I can create the life that I would love to live. I can create who it is I am going to be. I can create how it is I am going to be and act in each moment, as difficult as it can be. It takes practice and it takes awareness. And luckily, the previous steps, your grand vision, eliminating hindering beliefs, allows you to cultivate that level of awareness of the vision you want to create for yourself in your life, what's important to you, yourself, and your life, and also the things that have been holding you back for yourself in your life.